Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, my dear students. Our topic today is the importance and the etiquettes of obligatory prayer. Today, inshallah, we're going to learn the importance of obligatory prayer, why the prayer is important, why a Muslim required to pray 5 times a day. Also, we're going to learn the proper behavior in prayer, or the etiquettes of prayer, or the manners to follow by Muslim during performing prayer. Before going and speaking about the importance of obligatory prayer, we need to know first what is the meaning of obligatory prayer, or what is the concept of obligatory prayer. Obligatory prayer means is the prayer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to perform. Well, so what are the 5 obligatory prayer that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to perform? The 5 obligatory prayers are Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Now we're going to share with you some of the importance of prayer. Why the prayer is important? The first reason is prayer is one of the pillars of Islam. As all of you knows, the 5 pillars of Islam are Shahada, Salah, Zakah, Sawm, and the Hajj. Prayer is the second pillar of Islam. That's why prayer is important. Also, in the general meaning of the hadith, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, prayer is the first thing to be asked for the Muslim in the day of judgment. In the day of judgment, the first thing for the Muslim to be asked for is prayer. Also, prayer, one of the most acts of worship that made Muslim more connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered all Muslims to perform it with all conditions: travel, stay, health, and illness. Also, prayer is the reason for forgiveness. As we mentioned that we're going to share with you some of the verses or some of the reference from Quran and Sunnah about the importance of prayer. I would like to ask you to read the holy verse and find what the verse refers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تجدوه عند الله إن الله بما تعملون بصير. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 110. The meaning of the verse: and establish prayer and give zakah, and whatever good you put forward for yourself, you will find it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-seeing of what you do. So, we can say the verse refers to that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded people to perform prayer and to give zakah. By giving zakah and performing prayer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. You will find it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all seeing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seeing everyone if he pray or giving zakah or doing any good deeds such as charity, helping the poor and needy. What is the reward of that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you in life and in the day of judgment. Here is a reference from Sunnah about the importance of performing prayer. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when the time for prescribed salah is due, and a Muslim perform its wudu and its acts of bowing and prostration properly, this salah will be an expiation for his past sins, so long as he does not commit a major one, and this applies forever. The general meaning of the hadith is a Muslim who does proper wudu of prayer and bowing and prostration, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive his past sins. What is the meaning of proper wudu? Proper wudu means like when you follow the right step when you performing wudu. About also the bowing and prostration, like when you give the enough time when bowing and prostrating, when you have khushu' during prayer. And by the way, having khushu' during prayer is one of the pillars of the salah. Khushu' means is to put your attention and put your heart connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the result of that? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive your past sins unless you didn't commit a major one. Major one means like shirk in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shirk means is to believe there is partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is some kind of shirk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive that kind of shirk. Why? Because you believe there is partner with him. You ask that partner. You request from him a help. That is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not forgive that kind of shirk. So we can say the hadith refers that the Muslim who perform proper wudu and proper bowing and prostration, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will erase his past sins unless not a major one. At the end, my dear student, we share with you some of the importance of prayer with reference from Quran and Sunnah. Now we're going to move to some of the manners to follow when performing obligatory prayer.